Welcome to the Crypto Freedom Summit. Now I have here as my guest Francis Hunt, who is the originator of the Hunt volatility funnel trading methodology. And he is a trader, he's a technical analyst and a teacher. And he's best known for his YouTube channels, the CryptoSniper, but also the Market Sniper and the Reset Sniper. And he has over 30 years of experience in trading. And from that, he has been able to distill and construct his own method. Welcome, Francis.
Hey, glad to be with you.
Yeah, great that you could join. And especially because when I was watching your free mini-series about trading, in the first episode right away, you talk about freedom and lifestyle, and that's what we are all about.
Absolutely. The whole point behind building wealth is not for rolling around like Scrooge McDuck on piles of coins. It's for the freedom it buys you. Money on its own is inherently, it's quite an ambiguous item. It's what you do with it that adds positivity, negativity, and also lifestyle. My big goal for all my subscribers is build wealth during this reset time. Thank you for mentioning all three elements, by the way, because we are the Reset Sniper and the Market Sniper as well. The Market Sniper houses the methodology, the Hunt volatility funnel method, which is a technical charting approach, but it overlaps with the Crypto Sniper because I talk about how you can maximize your wealth building in crypto, utilizing the technical approach that is HVF. And also I highlight how what we're going through is a very massive end of cycle reset and how that's going down, and also look into some of the more darker in some senses, but also whenever there's darkness, there's also huge amounts of light. Wherever there's a crisis, there's opportunity. So it's not overtly negative. Some people battle dealing with this structural changes that will see large scale changes in their world environment, but that's also the fuel that's going to make this crypto space be what it's going to be. And I often refer to the Jupiter of debt, the quadrillions in derivatives, the hundreds of trillions in bond debt, the hundreds of trillions in equity market caps. That whole sphere will need to integrate into the blockchain space. And really for those, many people say, oh, haven't I missed the bus? Bitcoin is already 50 whatever thousand dollars a token, and Ethereum is going on 2,000, and I've missed this game. And I'm like, we're not even at the end of the beginning. We're about to start, the main courses and everything. There is food on the table for all in this opportunity that is the crypto space. And there is freedom and lifestyle for those that execute accurately, positively, with rational understanding of the grand scale of it. You will get out to soon. This is a macro cyclical bull. However, that recognize in bull markets, there's huge volatility and nervousness and skittishness, and some other system is in the process of dying, which will continue to have repercussions on something new that is growing, and there will be turbulence. How do you handle that? When do you execute? How do you utilize leverage to maximize your gains? And more importantly, when you shouldn't, which is often to avoid that volatility whiplashing you out. So those three core circles overlap, and we are the sniper in the middle area zone, in that central spot where you need to play. And conceptually understanding that, even though most of your audience will be coming from the crypto interested gateway, there are actually many gateways to exit, but the key zone that you want to be is the sniper, the accuracy, the rationale, not based on belief systems, but true methodology for executing in what is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Someone could come of very meager financial standing and actually in the end of quite a short time frame exit at a totally different level of wealth and freedom just by managing this part of your life correctly. If you've done everything wrong in your life so far, and you've barely got any wealth, you have a real gateway and opportunity right now in this period of crisis, which will have a lot of dark moments, but super positive moments as well. And this is a supernova intersection point, and people need to concentrate right now for their pensions if you're in the 40s, 50s, and 60s age group. And if you're in your early 20s and 30s, you may not have to work and fall foul of extreme taxation, battling to make a living in this COVID-19 era, just by executing correctly here. So thank you for having me. And that's the opportunity with all that goes with it, the volatility, the turbulence, the governmental overreach, and everything else that's going to be playing out.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was like it was a good encapsulation, I guess, for the whole big picture now here, what's happening and why we are, especially in this particular space, you know, and want to create the wealth and the freedom and you know. And I guess for many people, the trading aspect and making money is many times also the gateway to the technology as itself as well, like to the privacy and this decentralization, that kind of thing. So
you can't engage with something, be passionate about an activity, and not pick up learning. Wherever you are learning skills and developing, you will find points of interest and you will see yourself flourish. It's an opportunity. Growth and learning is amazing. If it takes building wealth to get you positioned there, so be it. But actually, the most exciting element is the personal development you go through and the increase in your understanding and the learning about projects you wouldn't have bothered about. I mean, I'll give you a silly example. Long prior to crypto, you know, one of the biggest trades I ever made in a matter of about 6 or 7 days was making a few £100,000 a long time ago on Robusta coffee, the bean. At the time, I was trading it entirely technically. I became totally interested in the commodity, how it was found, where it was grown, how it differed to Arabica beans, because I had an experience with it. So I retrospectively filled in the fundamental information, having approached from what many people consider the wrong side, because most people that were active in that market knew everything about the market, but they got caught out. And as a technical trader, I was on the other side of their trades, a huge short squeeze, massive run that was incredibly favorable for me. And I had no fundamental knowledge. I was fundamentally ignorant, but I had an advantage. I was following the money and I had a method. And that saw me reverse integrate knowledge out of interest and curiosity. So you can't participate in something, get positive feedback and negative feedback without learning. That was a positive feedback event. Early on in my career, I entered and put my entire net wealth as a young man in the stock market. I was going into the army. 2 years, I think in Finland, you used to have conscription. I was in a country that had conscription for 2 years for the males. And I put my entire net worth in August 87. I was an August 87 intake. And I experienced a 40% loss of everything within literally 6 weeks in the 1987 stock market crash. So that was almost the seed of my learning about equities and markets, because it came out of pain. But luckily, I had 2 years where I was paid, looked after, chased around, and I left it and largely recovered. But I had an experience, and again, that was a learning experience, and it's still foundational economic history and trading history, the 1987 crash. And I can thankfully say I was part of it. You referenced that I've been around in markets for over 30 years. And this is the skill set that you learn. Many people say, oh, but crypto is different. Oh, but crypto is different. It's different. And so it's also the same. In terms of that, there are people, humans engaging in markets, and they will continue to pattern behave and repeat certain similar errors as a new generation has to learn the same mistakes of previous generations before. However, it will be a secular bull because there is a net inflow of funds. And we've had a net inflow equity bull market since the early 80s. This is literally the foundation of Warren Buffett's wealth, that he bought into cash flow generative companies in what was a secular long-term equity bull. That we've seen interest rates come down from the early 80s of Faulkner, right the way down with Greenspan's liquidity experiment, always cutting rates, eventually boxing all central bankers that followed him into a similar cycle, expansion of debt, dropping of interest rates. And as a result, we have asset-based inflation, which is the first stage to an inflationary cycle. And you've had people that position net equity long, were never sold, were basically hodlers before the term existed in the equity market. And those experiences are incredibly useful now to bring to your crypto market, because I've seen cycles. I've lived long enough to see an entire cycle. My brother was an actuary, and he ended up being a fund manager in the bond markets. And from when he entered the markets in the early 80s till when he retired, was a net long his entire career. In a decreasing interest rate environment that obviously saw the bond markets move up. So there's a bigger cycles within smaller cycles. And so you have this fractalization of opportunity on a 15-minute, opportunity on a decade-based level. And crypto right now, the people viewing it, I'm here to tell you, you are at one of those multi-decade, early seeding era opportunities. Don't mess it up. And you need methodology, and you need wisdom, and you need some patience of a monk to make sure you exploit this to the fullest. And that's where we come in with the Hunt Volatility Funnel method and the process. And that's what people learn. And let me tell you, the multiple of outcome, if you have a room full of people all given the same opportunity, and you give them all $10,000, and you tell them, okay, you're all being let loose on the crypto markets, the variance in outcomes you will get will be so broad in terms of those that nail it. If you come back in 10 years time and see who shows up in the Lamborghini, I'm being facetious there, I don't think that's a smart investment, and who shows up in tattered, worn clothes and asking for a loan. And you will get all outcomes in between over a 10-year person. Even saying you can only participate in crypto, here's 10 grand. And some will blow themselves up in that process. And I'm afraid to say it'll be quite high. You say you have to use a trading account where you can either invest and do some trading, and others will come back at next level wealth. And the point of this is, if you allow people to make emotion-based decisions, which is very, very easy, because we trade our P&L when it's going green, it's all exciting, goggle-eyed, your brain drops endorphins, all sorts of biological responses that are drugs by another name, just naturally created ones through your cerebral cortexes and a variety of other reasons, and you have no experience in this, you are being set in a trap which will catch you in the end. And it's amazing to me how many people will not invest in just getting foundational principles that will protect them to survive and thrive and maximize this unique opportunity of wealth building that we're at the doorway for which you haven't really missed that much, no matter where your start point is, and that all the future still remains ahead of you, and you can totally maximize. But you do need method, you need to be rational, and you do need to do research, and you probably need some degree of training. And I say that as somebody who might sound like he has a fair amount of experience, but actually, rather than being a guru, I'm not a guru. I was not a natural born trader. I like to compare myself to the 110-meter sprinter. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those funny YouTubes as a storytelling. There's always one guy that has a nightmare in the final race. You know, you'll see the gold medal winner, and there's some guy who runs on the outside lane, just qualified for the final, and he knocks every single hurdle over and runs an absolute bummer, and he comes in a second and a half behind everybody else, sort of almost limping over the line. Naturally, I was emotional, aggressive. Biology, I have a fast metabolism. I take coffee, I get spiked like somebody who's taken cocaine. I am up and down in terms of that. Physiologically and biologically, I made every single trading mistake, and I didn't make them once, I made them over and over again. I blew up accounts in the early stages of my career 5, 6, 7 times. I should never have been allowed to be a trader. I almost, by virtue of my disposition, someone should have just tapped me and said, you can never be allowed to do this. Go be a carpenter, you know, go do something else. But I just kept showing up. That was the only thing that saw me eventually get here, is that I kept showing up, and I had to find a way to protect myself from myself. It would have been far better if I'd been a passive investor and chased the slow dough. But actually, subsequently, I eventually found my way, and I've made up for lost opportunities and early damage. Many people don't complete that journey. It is walking to Tibet from wherever you are today. And some of you will have to cross oceans. Many don't get there. I'm here to say, you can fast track. You can fast track that. You don't have to fall into every minefield yourself. And it's absolutely worth circumventing that, and you can be shown the way. Having a guide, I'm the first to say Edmund Hillary, that climbed Mount Everest, probably would be honest enough to say that he wouldn't have made it without the Sherpas. Yeah, the unwritten story of Mount Everest are the locals that carried all the bags, the tents, the kits, all behind, and the Sherpa that walked up Tenge is almost the biggest star. Those were the guys, and you can have your Sherpa through crypto times, doing your logistics, keeping you out of it. And that's why we've set up the community we have. But whether you choose to action something like this with someone like myself or anybody else, make sure you have the skill sets. If you are a beginner or intermediate, you are probably missing things. Can I also say my community has educated me? I've changed platforms as account of them. I've found better things. I've found ways how to do that. No one person has monopoly on knowledge and capability. So I'm very much on the trading side, the methodology, and I understand we'll get into a little bit of that later. But absolutely, there are other skill sets that need to be worked. Guys have taught me how to use TradingView properly and all the many features. Guys have taught me many things. I'm getting a bit old for the tech. There's smarter people in many other spheres than me, and it's an amazing circulation of knowledge, both upside and downwards, that is going on. And I encourage people to plug into that, to embrace the entire experience, immerse yourself, because this is your opportunity. The boomers have had their chance. They've had their equity bull market going on forever. They've had their property bull market going on for decades. If you haven't made pension and you haven't built your wealth by then, you've been sleeping, you've been messing up on the job, and you're going to become ward of state. Now, whoever's watching this now, ask yourself, you will get those opportunities. Did you buy a ticket for that ship? And are you engaging with everybody on that ship? Because that's where all your lessons are. The crew, the fellow passengers, that's your learning. Go for that journey and make the most of it and extract on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great points there. You know, you mentioned about the experience you have and the importance of being able to see the big picture as well. Because I noticed myself that when you are looking at the charts and you have like a 15-minute or 1 hour, you get blinded by the macro view, and that can be devastating, from getting in and out of trades and that kind of things. And also what comes to my mind, what you said, is that like maximizing these kind of opportunities, because you know, even if the market goes up a lot, you know, like you said, there's a lot of volatility, and you can still in the end lose the money, even if in the short term you might be able to make some, but still, you know, like then it's another thing when you get out and that kind of thing. So I myself, coming in 2018, at the beginning of 18, I came at the peak to the altcoins, you know, so that was the worst time to get in. It was not much, but still very. I hope I learned something at least from that.
Well, that was your 1987 equity market experience that I had. And I can actually say our community handled that probably better than anyone else, because we actually took a couple of 6-digit sums shorting Bitcoin, whilst long run being macro bulls. Most common of which was the 6K handle that fell down to 3.7, which you had a sustained period that gave an idealized setup for us. We also biased short alts, particularly Ethereum, which was very liquid, against Bitcoin. A lot of ICOs had happened and they were unwinding. And if Ethereum underperformed after overperforming on the upside, because we had a perfect HVF setup that had a supreme overperformance pump from around the 350s level that overperformed right the way into the all-time high of 1400 of that bull market before it then sold off. And then we were net short Ripple and Ethereum against Bitcoin. So we actually had a crypto neutral trade which was quite beneficial. That saw us gain Bitcoin in an environment that most people were having their Bitcoin taken off them and the Bitcoin value was going down. There are people that were so badly burnt, they exited the market, they would never return. And that's scar tissue that they just can't get over. And the key element is, again, methodology, understanding the super macro, and knowing what trend you're operating in, knowing when to recognize that a blow off is actually an end of a bull market, not a time to use leverage and go big. So yeah, there's some real experiences on there. In fact, our auto webinar on our website, themarketsniper.com, still references the great bull and saying you're not a true trader until you've actually been able to execute on a short. By the way, I'm not saying to everybody that you should be shorting in the crypto market. I'm just pointing out a technical element of skill sets that then sets you up where you can say, wow, I am now an advanced high level trader and I have a full set of skill sets. You know how to make money in a downswinging market, because downswinging markets are very tricky. Some of the strongest rallies occur in downswinging markets. If you look at that first collapse of 2018, there was a whiplash back up to 17,000 for Bitcoin after it plunged to about 10 or 12,000. Now, if you'd shorted at 10 or 12,000, you would have been absolutely killed on the snapback, and then it came all the way back down. So people don't know how to deal with volatility as a concept. And volatility is the word that's in the Hunt Volatility Funnel. In essence, it's recognizing that your best time to trade is when you're getting a squeeze. I know we'll get into that later, but it allows real leverage to be provided without being too large on a very tight risk with a possibility of an expansive move. And that's incredibly powerful. And we base our entries on that concept. Low volatility, extreme compression into a later expansionary move that gives higher reward. And the tighter you squeeze that risk for a given $1,000 loss or $100 loss that you allow yourself to spend on each trade, you can be bigger size as well as getting a bigger reward. So not only do you get a higher risk reward ratio than everybody else, most people that I've looked over, and I've been in education environment in the trading realm in London and a variety. I've seen early traders. I've been around the Goldman Sachs pros in equity markets, and I've seen late traders in all various stages of development. Beginners and intermediates are typically trading 1:1 and less. And they think they're getting 1:2, but they're often closing the trade before. It's not what they say, it's what their P&L indicates. And they're letting open losses run. And they're killing good trades to subsidize bad ones. And this is a natural tendency because we don't want to be a loser. We want to give more chance to our losers to fix themselves. And we want to kill our winners to help buy time and buy P&L and buy margin to support a losing trade. And that's absolutely the wrong thing. You've got to keep putting your resources behind your best, and you've got to cull resources from your losers. And that's why indexes, and this is another key point, that comes from the traditional markets, but can be carried over in crypto. In many instances, active fund managers fail to beat the index that they are participating in, because indexes are automatic, everyday, computer-based eliminators of the loser. As a smaller stock is going down, it's reducing its weighting in the index and dripping and dipping. It is distributed out, and as another stock is winning, you are actually weighting the balance towards the winners, and you are diminishing the balance away from the losers. And it's done real time and rebalanced on a daily basis. So in essence, you are always making sure your winners get fed first and are kept in game, and you're culling the ones that are underperforming, which most people find really hard psychologically to do.
Yeah, and talking about psychology, like I guess psychological things are like very crucial in the trading game. And if you think about your trading journey and how you became successful, like are there like some clear like epiphanies or some kind of things that like made you successful actually?
So when we talk in the psychological space, one of my biggest learnings and key events that I can almost guarantee you is the case is biology actually drives psychology more than people realize. So most people think it's power of positive mind, the top head brain domination. It's what you think, it's what you do, and you drive it all through. I can absolutely tell you that my most destructive events in the trading environment psychologically was when I was biologically unfit to trade. So if you're toxic in any way, that could have been out drinking the night before, insufficient sleep or rest, or you've had a domestic argument and you're emotionally highly wired up or irritated, you actually visit upon yourself negative-based events. The psychology folds under biological attack. This is why, in terms of torture and prisoners of war, you're kept in a dark cell, you're given menial food, you are broken down via biology. You soften the mind through the body. It's like the boxer that keeps punching the stomach, the liver, and the kidneys in a UFC fight or something like that. You soften up the body, the head goes. Then a small punch to the head and the man is out. And in a sense, psychologically, and this has typically been a big, so I've spoken and dealt intrinsically with psychologists in the trading space, not psychologists as in fix me, I want to jump off a building, high performance orientated environments specifically geared to trading. So trading psychology. In fact, one of our courses that we have inside our program is based around the psychology and the research I did with this trade psychologist, high performance trader psychology. And you get the feedback out of that. And one of the key things he makes is mind does not dominate over all things like you think. We think of it as this pyramid and the brain as the capstone on top, and it orders like this communist leader, and everything else follows. And I'm here to say to you, that part of psychology has largely been debunked, and certainly in a trading sense. So there's a lot of fallacies about really successful traders, that they're in strip clubs, and this is helped by Hollywood and various others, drinking flaming Ferraris and all of this. These are typically brokers that make money off flow, that are behaving like that and stuffing dollar bills in, strippers' G-strings and stories like this. It's an absolute fallacy. If you look at fund managers that are truly long-run successful, they're often quite ordinary-looking gray men, married with families, and do biathlons and triathlons on the weekend. These are people that are physically fit, very leveled, very rational, not prone to lengthy toxic binges, substance abuse of any form, and are pretty rational and level-headed and kept together. So there's a lot of fantasies that are perpetuated about successful trading. And if you want to be long run in the game, don't ever trade if you've not slept well, you've had a massive argument with wife, spouse, husband, whomever, or you've been on a bender, or you just failed to get a good night's sleep. The quality of your thinking, the patience to do wholesome process. I treat, and we have a couple of pilots in our community, I treat every trade as you must do pre-flight inspection. We have a checklist. We have an entire flow chart. Why? What are you thinking of doing? Have you done this? Have you done that? Method and process saves you from yourself. I don't know how many times I'll end up saying this, but I need to, in different analogies, make this point come home. You have a pre-flight checklist before you get in a plane as a pilot. Otherwise, you fall out the sky. Making sure there's enough fuel, making sure there isn't a bolt stuck in an aileron, that it doesn't move, so that your plane is steering is functional. My father was a glider pilot. They had pilots that were up and had ailerons get stuck and crash. So aviation, you don't get things wrong in aviation and live to tell the story every time. It's pretty nasty affair. And this is exactly financially what tends to happen. Every time you are executing a trade, you're potentially also going to do a self-harming event at a financial level. So the true method and the true flow chart of everything that should be watched and executed on, especially in terms of leverage use, 360-degree analysis, traditional markets that should be viewed, other things that could be wrong, understanding what is your God markets, knowing of news-based events, all sorts of things. And even still, with a flight checklist, it helps to have a community watching your back that sees you and are also doing a similar thing. And that's why I also ride with a posse of guys. If we do a 2-week ride through to Botswana, we go with a logistics truck. with medical aid kit, and there's 15 of us because somebody has the spanner that I need that I forgot to pack. Somebody else sees that your tire's running a bit light and points it out to you. So this is the whole point of community. Build your wealth together. Don't be a lone voice warrior. People often, there's an analogy, people that teach, people that trade, and people that teach can't trade, and therefore rely. And it's an absolute false analogy. My community and my people have absolutely made me a better trader. Sharing the wisdom actually is a way of growth, and also taking questions and refining the methodology was done because I shared it. People that have a minimalist or limited resource mentality and secrecy and everything, they sit in their cave with their best kept idea, and it never grows and it never develops. HBF method has developed because I was prepared to share it early. It has developed because I was able to have other people kick the tires of the vehicle I was building. And it continues to develop as a dynamic organism, and it continues to support and feed people. And this is what I encourage. Have community, whatever you decide to do. Maybe I'm not your guy, you don't like my hairstyle, or whatever the case may be. That's fine. Find your guy, find your tribe. But make sure that it's not just some Telegram group, free Telegram group, because you get what you pay for, where everyone's punting and shilling their own tokens. That's not community. That is people marketing to you. That's a spam. That's a spam environment where you will have no quality control. You'll have some people entering at such a base level. You'll have indicator-based traders, you'll have pivot-based traders, you'll have news-based traders, you'll have shilling coin groups that think their particular token is the only one and everything else is crap. The point of that is quality control, where people have had shown an ability, shown some degree of success that they can afford to join a premier group, understand the reasons of rationality, absolute rationality, and instead of herding cats are doing a joint approach for which everybody understands the principles, have been trained to a high level. And that's what's the difference between a sniper and a soldier. You know, when I did my 2 years military, they took everybody. You know, you could be the fat kid that never did any sport and you were in the army. You could be the sporty guy with no brain and you're in the army. You could be the smart, sporty guy that's in great shape and totally smart. And you could be the useless guy that, you know, you had everybody there. And the point is, they get sorted out. The really efficient people that got rank, that got privileges, that had someone polish their boots instead of doing guard duty and polishing boots, were the people that showed talent. And snipers are a special force. They're like a parabat, and they're like the SAS. And the key reason is they are ruthlessly efficient, capable of working in small teams, incredibly patient. So they're observant, and they have my war analogy that I always give, and I'm not a gun freak and I'm not a war fan at all, but the analogy is so powerful. The average infantryman in World War II fired 250,000 rounds for every fatality. That's an awful amount of lead flying around in the sky, serving no purpose. So if the purpose is to eliminate an enemy, they were exceedingly ineffective. They just held space and made a noise by firing their weapon every now and then. A sniper as a special force, by the way, Vietnam was 450. So that was the addition of automatic weapons and a jungle, and you went to 450,000. That is the approximate guesstimation of how much lead flew into trees for every one bullet that actually hit and served its purpose. Would you invest in a business that was accurate 1 in 450,000 times? That is the futility, I would say, of war and the inefficiency of the model generally. Snipers, the numbers for that, if you study this, is 1.3. 1.3 rounds. That means essentially 3 bullets, 2 of them are finding their mark. Plus, they have specialist weapons. It's a high-power rifle. It's a bigger round. It flies a whole bunch faster. How do they get such efficiency? Unique training, patience and observation most of the time. They only pull the trigger if they're absolutely assured of making the headshot. And even still, things happen that see you miss or partially wound someone. So that is the efficiency that we're after, you know. And how do you do it? You shoot less. So as traders and investors, do less. The money's made in the sitting. This is your lesson. So I've told you about warfare. You don't want to know about warfare. I'm actually talking about efficiency. And I'm talking about the role of efficiency and accuracy in your activities in terms of building your wealth. Do less. They shoot less bullets than the infantrymen. But when they shoot, they're damn sure. They've checked everything. Wind speed. Can I get out safely after I've given away my position? In other words, exits, stop losses. All our trades have a stop loss, a known target. We're aware if we expect overperformance, so we know if we will do a partial close or a full close, and a designated entry. We do not enter at market. Rarely is now the moment. You don't just pop up, oh, there's someone, shoot. You aim, you wait, you get the right position, you've got the headshot, it's clear, the person has just moved and is now static, the wind has dropped, you're in between heartbeats, that trigger goes. That's your headshot. And in trading, you want headshots. You want to be a sniper, not an infantryman. And in investment, because some people will be watching this and say, I don't care about any of this. I'm not a trader and I don't want to be a trader. And you're absolutely wrong. All you want to be is a slow, occasional in trader, which is an investor, which means once a year you make a key decision at a key opportunity. You're waiting for that blood in the street and you do it. All you are is a slow motion sniper that works and does even more observation and waits even more for a unique opportunity. You know, in the bottom of COVID, silver traded $11. It traded 30 on the Wall Street Bets high. You could have been a buyer then. At the bottom of COVID, Bitcoin trades sub 4K. You could have been leveraged long. If you're an investor and you're waiting and you have the macro bull we told you of, that's your moment. So how would that not be worthwhile to you? Why is not listening to this analogy not incredibly imperative to your performance, whether you consider yourself a trader or an investor? This is the keys to the kingdom that people need to understand to properly build their wealth. And you're talking to someone who is the most passionate person in the industry about helping people learn and grow in one of the most economically perverse times that will go down as economic history globally and will be read in 100 years' time for the insanity that was implied in it. You're talking to the person that most recognizes that most wants to help people through education to build their wealth. I want to be not for how wealthy, known for how wealthy I got myself, for how many people I dragged with me. I want to be the Pied Piper of the retail man in the street, saved from the banking cartel. And this is my reset sniper standing. I am messianic. I get angry. I am pissed off for what has been perpetuated against us in this society and one of the most corrupt cabal of scams. And people that are coherent, are prepared to respect me with their energy, and money is just energy, deserve to be saved. And I want to save as many of them. And I want you to have the lifestyle of your dreams. And I want you to be wealthy. I want to be known. I want them to read at my funeral the people whose lives I changed. That is value worth to me. And I'm standing here today. This is one of those opportunities. You get what I'm saying. You understand there's someone who's messianic with a key message, and you understand all the places you will go wrong, and that I've fallen in every single one of those holes more than once. And you need a map, and you need a community, and you need to do this for yourself. Otherwise, you will not maximize. That's the message. And I can't be more direct and passionate about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope people are now writing down these great gold nuggets that you are dropping all the time. It's like you talk about the system, having a system to follow, and for example, I recognize from myself that you do this impulsive thing if you don't have a system. You chase the green candles and sell too early and whatever it is happening there, and also the importance of community. Yeah, it's like, I guess that being a trader is very lonely. So also in that aspect as well, I guess it's very important to have a community, and of course to keep on track. Like that's a great thing.
Utterly. I've got 2 points to come back at you. You made some great comments there. First of all, in the absence of methodology, what do people do? They chase green candles. This is known as the FOMO concept, fear of missing out, chase momentum. And I talk about dogs chase moving cars. We chase R's. And by R's, We're talking about risk reward ratios, 3 R's, RRRR, if you want, risk reward. And we have a time frame for it with time stops. There is no other trading methodology that has interim targets like HVF, which will warn you when you're likely to have a pullback. There is no other methodology that says this is how much time we are giving this event to occur. Otherwise, new forces have entered the market and you must exit. Everyone is chasing FOMO, the hottest new things going on to crypto market cap. Who's the biggest up today? I will give you that before it happens, the news before the news, often on account of technical setups that we've been watching for a long period before. You can either react to news or you can be the person that is seeing what is coming before it actually happens. Chase R's, not cars. Most people are FOMO and hype coin chasers to a T in terms of retail crypto. And we have to deprogram it out to you, and we install method over that on you. There was another interesting point you made, and it's now, it skipped my mind. You were talking about fear of missing out. I really want to go back to it because I had a great point on that, because I said there was 2 elements. It'll probably come back to me when you talk. Sorry for that. It skipped my mind. But absolutely, too many people are momentum orientated chasers. And the problem with that is you often end up a bag holder at relative highs. Because you have no reason for the trade apart from it's going up now, or has done quite a lot now. And that exposes you to immense risk, because you might be participating in a blow-off move and you become a bag holder for somebody else who's ridden the escalator up, and you end up holding the bag for the elevator down. And it's a tragedy in the absence of method. It truly is.
Yeah, maybe it was something about selling too early, or what I mentioned.
Yeah, you triggered 2 key points for me, and just in dealing with the momentum one, I lost the second one, and it's a very pivotal point that I have a lot of key comments on. It'll come back, I'm sure. I apologize. Was my birthday yesterday? I must have killed a few brain cells. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. It'll certainly come back, and I'm sure we'll bring it up when we discuss a couple of opportunities. I mean, in our part 2, we'll discuss a couple of trades that we've recently just been participating in. Why Binance token was one of the best. Actually, one of the things I was going to show you was this little snagget actually over here. I did tweet this out, but most people will not be following me necessarily on the CryptoSniper. But if I show you this, are we doing screen share? I think I might have to grab the screen share from you if I can.
Yeah, let's see. Should be available. Is it, at least it's not.
Host disabled screen sharing, it says. So you might just have to
check
now.
That. Okay, let's see now. Now it should be on. Now it's
brilliant. So in essence, one of the things I was highlighting yesterday is we had the top 10 movers. This is the top 10. This is crypto market cap. And everybody chases the pumps. They grab the top 10 movers. So all I've done is I've clicked on the 24%, who's moved the highest percentage in the last 24 hours. This was done yesterday. So this screenshot has a date and time stamp. Everything I do, the automatic file name is date and time, according to the computer time at that time. This was done for yesterday. Holo did 40% yesterday. The 2 trades our community is dominantly in and was in prior to these numbers coming in is BitTorrent and Binance token. And they also happen to be 2 of the 3 biggest by market caps of the movers, the top 10 movers. So you'll notice this top 10 mover is number 91. We don't bother with the lack of liquidity. We have some people that are high net worth. They need to be able to get in 10, 15 Bitcoin, and you can have a problem getting in and out on the lower liquidity. That's number 91. That's number 100 on liquidity. We were in number 3 and 25. And that 25 is quite far out for us, typically. We were in number 3 and 25. 25 did 23%, and it did even more last night. BitTorrent and Binance token was 13%, and it's in the top 10. It's only behind Ethereum and Bitcoin in total market cap size. Those are 2 dominant positions in our community right now. And they are second third, fourth, fifth, and sixth in the top 10 movers out of 3,000 tokens. How many tokens are there out there now that are coin market cap traps? You were second and you were sixth. And it's your two primary positions. And you did 23% yesterday and 13%. And some people will say, oh, your program's too expensive. Well, other people are sitting and holding on in tokens that actually went down yesterday in a single day. That is proof of concept. The only other relatively high is Filecoin, which was number 15.
And I even remember you mentioning in your YouTube channel, in the CryptoSniper, when you were doing your live, you mentioned BitTorrent there. So that was also freely available watching your channel.
We gave a few free tips. We give everybody an opportunity by following the YouTube sniper, the CryptoSniper, a chance to almost earn their way into their community. That came for free. You're not going to be the first. The community and the premium guys get served first always, but you could have got in it and you were given it early. It had just broken and it's gone and done exactly what it's supposed to do. Incidentally, on that particular example, it's also shown relative strength in an environment where Bitcoin and Ethereum are showing a little bit of raggedness, close to a possible relative high too. I did a live stream without charts last night, just talking face to face and taking some chats on the query on the CryptoSniper YouTube channel. And I warned people that there could be pullbacks because ADA, little bit of a pullback, all the alts, little bit of a pullback with Ethereum coming off, with Bitcoin coming off. This particular token overnight has shrugged off the God markets and continued to go up. This is a very clear sign of relative strength in a slightly concerning, more retracting market. So we've actually retained, because we consider overperformance possible, we've retained a small percentage of position on our platforms. So across a number of platforms, as I say, I had almost 150 million of it, and a single platform had 100 million of it. That sounds a lot more than it is. It's a fraction of a cent. It's a third of a cent. So I'm not trying to impress anyone on size, but it was managed risk for the loss, and it was high confidence. And we've closed 65% of that position now. And now anything else that gives us is pure bonus. And we have a methodology for even managing the overperformance. In other words, rules by which we close it so that we lock in. And the absence of rules. So I want to take a step back. I'll stop sharing screen for a bit now because it's not relevant. But I want to take you back to the key things that make your life better. Rules, the quality of your life and the quality of your performance in all things you do. And I continue to reiterate, trading is an absolute microcosm of life. And the key element behind that is it's an exaggerated, amplified, accelerated version. In short, becoming a great trader and or investor for those that just are repulsed by the notion of trader. Because funny enough, unfortunately, in some spheres, trading seems to have picked up a bad reputation. It's people who crash companies and do things. It's an absolute nonsense and a misnomer. I haven't got the time to debunk that. But let's say you consider yourself an investor, an occasional investor. There's less baggage maybe with that. It is an absolute accelerated life training course for your growth and development. It is an honorable pursuit. Many people think it's dishonorable. Oh, I'm making money for free and all of that. No, you're taking risk. You're doing analysis. You're supporting the growth of a new industry that will see the replacement of a failing financial system. There is a lot of justifiable honor to the pursuit of bringing on the crypto revolution. But again, morally, I'm not going to go down and explain any baggage, because some people develop psychology around this that sees them destined not to succeed because they think there's some sort of dishonor in it. You know, a nurse works a hard day with bedpans, and here I just conjure up with a couple of sweeps of the keyboard. There's all sorts of fake fallacies. But again, I'm not going to deal with that. We deal with that in our program and a lot of other things to clear you of any mental blocks and highlight how what you do is relevant and honorable, and how it is a personal development program of growth for you. And you are every day paying for lessons. Make sure you pay peanuts. You don't have to pay big sums. So we make sure you pay peanuts for your lessons and take your learning and have a practical, real experience in it, and also position and maximize properly when you need to be properly done. But in all of this that I'm saying, it is actually a growth tool. You will become a better person by doing it. And the quality of your trading and the quality of your life, because I'm treating trading development as a microcosm of life in general, you'll become it's ironic. The gentleman I was referencing in terms of psychology that I spent a lot of time interviewing in my own personal development and bringing the findings to the community, people that improved their mental, biological, and psychology and their trading ended up having better golf games and better marriages and better other aspects of their life. In other words, by improving their trading, the characteristics they developed of more method, more rationality, less emotional outbursts, more process-driven thoughts, more methodology, more everything, became calmer, more focused on the detail on their golf swing, more, because you obviously get an overlay, it's male dominated. He was telling me about golf swing. I don't play golf, by the way. I'm not a golfer. Many people who don't, their eyes will glaze over, some will love it. But you have a relationship, you have wife, you have children, you have other things, you have friends. Relationships improve because you are a calmer, better, more rational version of yourself. And so this is a personal development program where you continue to get feedback driven to you from a market environment. So you're not just paying to learn how to make money on a trade. That is almost callous. You're going on a journey. You're going on a life journey where there will be ups and downs and experiences, and you are responsible for your own outcomes, and you will get the lesson you most need to learn to clear the next obstacle. And the obstacle is in fact the way. If you keep not growing, you will keep being fed the same lesson until you transcend. And that's where having a method and an understanding that you're actually hitting your head against a wall without realizing it, that someone taps you on the shoulder and says, mate, I don't know if you know this, but you've been smacking your head against the same wall for your entire lifetime. I'm that guy. Here's your lesson you need. Walk around the wall. There's a different obstacle. You've got to climb the net next, but it's a different challenge. And I think you can do that quite well. And you're going to be at a higher part of the game. You're going to be deeper up the obstacle course, and you're going to be far more satisfied. You're just not progressing. And this is the key thing. You keep getting sent the obstacle that is most your current weakness to transcend. And that obstacle absolutely is your way. And the quality of your life and the quality of your trading is imperatively the disciplines that you, in your freedom, elect to impose upon yourself. So if you're super rich and you choose to sleep until 11:30, 12 o'clock in the day, you wake up with a beer and cornflakes, you will feel like crap. You've bought the privilege, you've won the lottery, you never did the growth to actually deserve to own money, because money flows from those that nurture it and treat it right to those that don't know how to handle it. When people are emotionally and mentally poor, they dissipate any wealth that they happen to be given. So we have examples in the UK of lottery ticket winners who are, set up, had cocaine and hookah parties, set up 4x4s in the back garden of a massive house and spent all the money and are actually bankrupt and more poor than they were before. And it just takes a matter of 3 years. And the key thing is by getting and he had a criminal record, and people even had a big outcry as to whether someone with a criminal record should have been allowed to receive his lottery winnings. And the cycle was inevitable. The cycle was inevitable because the personal development never came with the money. The money just came in a very low mental resonance. So you can only make the wealth and retain the wealth that your development personally allows you to hold. Otherwise, you will dissipate it into the ether to others that are better equipped than you. And when you are facing more institutions, more rationality, more science, more models, you will be stumping up your Bitcoin to the institutions that are entering this game late. And you might have come in 2013, and they will own your Bitcoin because you never developed, you never grew, and you don't have the mental rationality to own what once was 1,000 Bitcoin that you had in 2013 that was worth about $10,000 when it was $10, let's say, and now would have been worth 1,000 times 50,000, that could in fact make you worth 50 million. In that time period, you have dissipated that away, and now you have 3 Bitcoin. Because you've been trading and you've been dissipating it. And the institution that has been holding the other end of your trades and accumulating it has science, method, risk control, and everything you do not have. So it's great that institutions and new money are coming in. They will bid the market up, but it will also lead to you facing a more rational, more long-term, more patient adversary. And the crypto kids of the early era will be stripped for their lack of personal development. And you mentioned to me that understanding this, developing method around this, is not worth doing. How can you think that any investment will not preserve you in any way from doing that? And those that will say, I don't need to invest, I don't need to spend any money on trading, I'll just hodl. Good luck. You're missing a lot of opportunities. You're missing a lot of fantastic opportunities. But hey, you'll do less bad if you truly stick to just hodling, and you don't suddenly get a little bit of an inkling when it's going up so much. And wow, if you'd only just had even just 50% leverage and maybe just doubled up and had a position which was a 2x on ADA instead of just holding ADA, and you get sucked in at the wrong moment and you're a blow off king and you're a bag holder. So we'll see. We'll see. The absence of growth in you personally will be your downfall. The adversary is getting more organized and is bigger and has deeper pockets. How are you standing right now? And in my worldview, most people do not institute disciplines upon themselves, because the minute you have freedom, you love the fact people need government. hate government. I hate controls on my freedom. I am anti everything. Central banker, governance, and everything, because I take full responsibility for my outcomes, including my faux bars and blowouts and dumb stuff. People that want to have victims or want safety nets and do not will trade their freedom for security of government, and they will enter and invite the parasitic cartel into their home. And that's what is happening. And you've got to own your own outcomes. You've got to take responsibility for your own growth and learning. If you are one of those people, you are one of my tribe. And you already will be manifesting fairly well, because just by virtue of having those characteristics, you'll be a successful accountant. We have a lot of IT and developer guys. You'll be successful in IT tech. We have a lot of engineers with logic and rationale that understand these concepts. You'll be successful there. Recently, we've had a surge of women. I'm delighted to have them. Thank you for their support as well. It's not a genderized game. Everyone can do this, and I'm not a guru. It's totally transferable skill. It is a totally transferable skill. I'm busy telling you that emotionally, physically, and biologically, I was probably one of the worst people to ever contemplate trading. I'm sick and tired about all the people that tell you how awesome they are and they've made X% from the. I started useless. Method has saved me, and it can save you too. You can probably drive the car I built better than me in time. Good luck to you. I want it. I want to drag the most people into freedom and wealth in society. And I repeat that with real intent that I can muster. I don't care what my final number is when they put me in the ground. I truly don't. I've never had absolute wealth goals. You asked in your email, what questions and what goals do you set? It's never been a number of wealth. I can tell you that. It's number of lives you positively affect, because true integrity is being honest with yourself, seeking absolute truth, even if it becomes dark and uncomfortable, and being comfortable with that, and finding others that are prepared and to recognize that and follow you in that recognition, and making a positive, real effect on as many people's lives as possible. I want YouTube subscribers to affect more people's lives positively. I want people to grab our free trading course in the link below, because I want to affect as many people as I can. I have people messaging me on Facebook and Twitter that have never bought or paid me any money, but say, thank you just for the free stuff you've done. You've already helped me. That is awesome. It's not a concern to me that he hasn't dropped dollars in my kitty for that. I'm happy with that. If he later makes wealth, he may well do, and that's awesome for me, but it's not a requirement. And that is the goal, and this is the opportunity. I am the John the Baptist for these Messianic times, and I'm going to keep this message the same, and I'm going to continue to enforce it. People need discipline that they personally take ownership for and impose on themselves. In the absence of doing that, you will have governmental entities, corporations, and other people implementing them for you, and that will be their choice of guidelines. So choose to put your own disciplines in, roll back, push back against all these quangos, transnational World Health Organizations, IMFs, UNs, and everybody else wanting to meddle in your life. Take control of it for yourself, own your own outcomes, ensure your own pension, ensure your own family's future financially and wealth. Live the life you lead. The best life will be the most amazing experiences you can buy. You do not take wealth with you, which is why I don't care whether I'm 100 billion, 1 million, or 50,000 when they bury me in the ground. That number is not that material to me. It's the amount of people I've touched and the amount of amazing experiences I can have in this world. That's why I resent the travel embargoes, the forced vaccinations, and all of those things. I don't want to take you into those topics too far. This is about crypto, but there is a bigger game in here, going on here. And this is a huge cycle. And people need to realize I literally am the town crier for what is coming. And you either build an ark and you survive this flood, or you get washed away. And you need to know, you need a manual, you need friends, you need community. And it doesn't have to be me. You might not like me. That's cool. Find someone else and make sure their principles are solid. That's all good. But follow it. And that's my key message. That really, truly is my key message to everyone. Start taking responsibility, bring in the disciplines you should have imposed on yourself before someone else imposes their disciplines on you.
Yes, thank you for painting that picture of the macro view again, and also connecting trading to other aspects of life as well. And I guess you could say that if you only need to spend few hours per day, let's say, on trading, on your work, you have a lot more time as a resource to do other things, and money maybe as well. So you can do charity and all kinds of stuff. So it's not only then about what is trading doing to the world, but what you can do to the world. Exactly.
And can I just say on that one of the best ways to do that is not to have a reactional system or an emotion-driven trading mechanism. You need to have the equivalent of a set and forget. That means you recognize you do not control what the market is going to do. You can only control your best view on a probability or possibility even based event on the future. So I can't tell you the future. I have some strong notions in certain areas, but I can't tell you the future flight path for a crypto exactly. I haven't been to the future yet. What I can do is bring you to those unique events where a higher probability exists, where a tighter risk can be taken, and a larger reward will potentially be harvested. And I can say the probability is actually higher. And those are unique key inflection points that we identify. And then we still can be wrong. And when we're wrong, we're often 180 degrees wrong. But you know what? We can have a set and forget system where you can then go and do your charity work. You can go do your passions. I have musicians that want more time to make music. I have all sorts of people that want to bring clean water in Africa that are working with their own messianic missions that they are working on. And they can set and forget. Whatever the market does, they're either stopped out with a sized orchestrated loss that is pre-calculated and represents a limited percentage of their overall equity, or it is in progress, or it has met the target and they have been closed out. And the risk is always less than the reward, which is substantial because they're chasing R's, not cars. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And you can go surf. I kite surf. I've got kite surfing and wind right here. I've got dirt paths. I ride out of my driveway. I've got instant dirt paths with river ruts in the dirt roads. I have a 4x4. I have a Husqvarna dirt bike 501. I have a Husqvarna 701 for the roads. I have toys and I have freedom to enjoy them. and I don't have to think about if I want to purchase something. But the truth of the matter is I don't overclutter my life with stuff either. I don't feel I need 7 cars. I don't really want a Rolls Royce, even if I can buy one. I don't want a Lamborghini. We don't have the roads where I'm at for it. So the point is, I just enjoy life and I play with what I want, and I get time off for my family. You know, we sit, we drink coffee, we watch the ocean in the mornings, we check what we want to check. We're passionate about what we do. We're small and vibrant and we love it. And you ask me, would I be anywhere else right now? And I am right where I need to be. And my message is right for the times that we are in. And I'm here for people that recognize that. And for those that don't, that's okay. That's fine. Send other people that you think the same way, or hate on me if you like. Do whatever you like. It's not specific to me. I can't control how other people choose to react, in the same way I don't control the market. But a set and forget system of high reward to low risk is your best setup. So the entire play is put, and we do not enter in market orders. I started explaining that and I probably didn't complete that. Rarely is now the absolute moment, even though you are an emotional being, and you see that little green candle tick because you're watching it on the 5 minutes and now it looks super hyperactivity. You are creating a hyper stimulus environment to provoke yourself into an emotion-based momentum chasing response, which is not rationale based. Set your price. Know where you want, whether it be above the market for a buy, because you say you are in an expansionary phase once you run this level, or if you want to get in early below the market. We enter on limits and stops, not at market. We enter on limits and stops. The 3 big things I will give all your traders and investors, because remember, people keep saying, well, I'm an investor. This is for investors as well. Entries goddamn matter. And if you're an investor, more so, because you're only entering once every blue moon when you think it's the perfect time. Most times it's when you've just received your money, which is wrong. You should maybe sit on your money. The moment's still to come. And you should put a buy limit order, and you should have a technical reason for why it might happen there. And you should have a fundamental macro reason why it should happen there. You should have every reason, and you should have done 360-degree analysis on all comparative substitute markets that could be affecting that, and knowing your God markets. And you should expect a volatility-based event to trigger you in. And you put a limit-based order, because the point at which you enter matters. It absolutely matters, because your money management, which is your stop loss, in case you're wrong, is tighter if you get in lower, if it's at the same stick level. And there must be a real justification for it. And our method delivers you all 3 of those key attributes. And that is as relevant for an investor as it is for a trader. And, you know, what do? Then you go and you let the market do what you do. You can sit and stare at your device. You can sit on your computers and have 9 screens. I don't. I don't have 9 screens frying my brain. In fact, I've actually seen a new record, 3 up and 4 across, all bent in on you. Do you want to know how good that is for your eyes? I even have blue light glasses for the 2 screens I keep on this desk. It's terrible. And you want to be a slave? You want to get piles sitting on your backside all day, fraught, come home from work and you've lived a journey of 1,000,000 miles, you've been shaken like you've been driving on a bumpy road, and you've even lost money on some days. What? Chasing the tick? No, method and cross multi-time frame analysis. We are macro bulls, crypto, generically. So we are not currently interested in any form of shorts. It simplifies the world. We're looking for longs. And we're currently calling an alt bull market on the basis that Bitcoin incorporates. We think it might ease a little bit. So we're looking to buy dips on alts. Which are our best? We've done our relative strength analysis. We know which are the best. Where might it fall? We've done our key levels of significance analysis, and we understand where it might fall. We recognize it's a game of speculation. We put some really out there crappy bids, like someone buying a property in a market where nobody is traveling to Spain anymore, and you're the only cash buyer in Spain, and the British can't go there anymore, and they're insisting on masks being worn everywhere, even if you're on the beach and everyone's going, stuff you, I don't want to go there. And there's a glut of foreigners, all with holiday homes, that don't want to go to Spain anymore because of their government decisions, because of travel restrictions. Be that guy with the crap offer, buying the dream home and living a next level life standard. And you have to do it every day when you trade and you invest. Every day. And these are the key principles that you've got to keep bringing home. and you've got to apply it practically. Many people will conceptually listen to what I'm saying and say, I can see some truth in that, what this man is saying. But the problem comes in the implementation of their practical day-to-day activities when they trade, because they will switch on their computer and go back to doing what they've always done, having listened to this. And I'm here to help you change that. You can change. You can win. You can even do it possibly better than me. It's totally transferable skill. Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to be a higher self? Do you see this as a personal development program? Do you understand there's much bigger things going on? You need to understand every level across time frames. From fractals on 5 minutes, we enter super tight at certain moments, but we always know what the annual chart, the monthly chart, and the weekly chart is doing. And those are principles. Those are I'm giving you some elements that encapsulate of the process-driven methodology that people need to be really successful, to maximize one of the most empirical and transitional events this generation will ever see, and previous generations never even got to participate in. You have a unique opportunity staring you at the face right now. I will say that again, an absolutely unique transition opportunity that is staring you in the face right now. How are you on your own with your current thinking and your other skill sets as someone who studied medicine, dentistry, engineering, tech? How are you going to play this? On your own? I wanted to be a trader on my own. Let me tell you my story. That's actually was the triggering thing that you also brought me on. I thought I wanted to quit my job and be a trader and on my own and work from home. That's what I thought I wanted. We think we want certain things till we goddamn get them. And then we get them and then we suddenly realize. So I thought I wanted to be a trader, staying at home and just being left to my own devices. I don't need people. I'm sick. I was promoted. I had lots of people underneath me. I'd grown the sales division. They were sending me PowerPoints and Excel spreadsheets and KPIs to fill out. I was hating it. I had staff that phoned in sick. I had all of this. I just didn't want all of this drab. I just said, I'm going full-time as a trader. I've made my money. I'm good at what I do. I'm going to go full-time as a trader. You know what happened? I ended up going full-time as a trader from home. And you know what? It sucked. I sat at home. I sat at home in an office. My partner at the time thought I was available to take the dustbin out at any drop of a hat. Could I help with making the meals? Because now I was there. I had no one to talk to. I got bored. I was alone. I had a few people to phone. Everyone else was going to work. No one wanted to play with me. And no one wanted to share. I had no new stimulus, nothing to learn. I was isolated on an island. And then I truly realized what I wanted. And what I really wanted is a community of like-minded people who understand where we are right now in this seminal moment. You have been chosen to live out through a most seminal moment. Do you recognize that? And do you want to be around other people that recognize it? Do you want to exploit it to your highest potential ability to maximize your personal wealth for other good reasons that you will utilize, that will give you freedom, lifestyle, and allow you to pursue your best skills where you are your most awesome self? Are you ready to learn and grow as a person through becoming a better trader? If you can say yes to all those things, then you're my tribe. And you're welcome to go to themarketsniper.com and book a call. You're welcome to just watch the YouTubes on the CryptoSniper and see how you go. Decide if, I'm your kind of guy. I'm not everybody's flavor. I tend to want to call it exactly as I see it, but I don't believe in being blunt or rude to other people either. I like to be humorous and I'm a bit cranky, but I never want to really cause any true offense to anybody. But you know what? Life is short. Too many serious people. Too much dowerdom. There's lots of misery out there. I'm going to find a way to make happiness and to have a giggle every day, because that's who I am. And that's who I think most people should want to be, but it's not for me to prescribe to anybody. So, you know the man, you know the method, you can move forward. And at the end of the day, I think that's standing as close as I can to my point of integrity. And everybody needs to find, where's your point of integrity? Where do I stand? And stand with the people that you belong with. And I recognize it may not be me. Good luck. And that is growth and journey. And I want absolute growth for all people at a retail level. The enemy is corporations. The enemies are government-orientated and dark state-related points of access. I do not encourage, the sort of the Peter Schiff baiting on crypto versus the hate on gold or silver and this and the tribalism. I do not encourage monotheism. Only Bitcoin will ever be relevant and maximalism. I do not encourage belief systems, full stop. I've actually eliminated the word belief from my lexicon, and I encourage all people that come on, because you program yourself with the language you say, because the voice you hear the most in your own brain is your own goddamn voice. Mind your language. Mind how you elect to program yourself. You talk about being programmed on the TV by the mainstream media, the social Facebook memes that they'll push in front of you, the ideas and notions that they're attempting to get to subterraneously introduce into your mind. You are your own biggest programmer of your brain. The voice I've heard the most in my life is the one you're hearing right now. And the one that you hear the most in your life is the fact that you are 50% of every conversation you've ever goddamn had. Mind what you say to yourself. Mind right here what you say to yourself. And belief, the word belief means I forego rationalism and I accept something on a God-given basis. And belief systems are your undermining. I believe totally in Bitcoin. Everything else is crap. I believe in this. I believe in that. If you weren't there, you don't know. Keep an open mind. Say on balance of probabilities. Everything we do, we add the phrase, the 3 letters. Everyone who's in my community knows what OBP. Writing a sentence where I express a view and putting the 3 letters OBP manually, you might say is pointless. Why didn't you just say it's assumed? Put it in your T's and C's. No, because every time I type those 3 letters, a door opens in my brain that says, you're feeling such certainty, you could be wrong. And how do you be wrong in this view? That is forces me every time I express. How does this unravel on me in terms of the view I expressed? That is the gateway, that is OBP. That is why we type it after everything we do in the community. We keep our mind open and we recognize we always could be wrong, and we model it and we draw it. We draw how exactly what we think won't happen happens. And that keeps us grounded. That keeps us from thinking we know it all. And that makes us better humans that have better relationships, play better golf games, and are more loved by our friends and family. And I'm here to tell you, this isn't just about trading.
Yeah, that's a lot of self-development lessons again. That's I love the passion that you have, and I think you are transferring already with that a lot of lessons. And so it's great to have you here. Before we move on to the second part of the interview, where we will be going through some practical gems about trading and the current market situation and the cryptos, we have this overarching theme in the summit, that what would you do if you would start from the scratch, knowing what you know now? And I think it's all there already in the interview, but how you would like recap in the short points, like what would be the key things that you would look for if you would be starting out now?
Yeah, so I have the self-awareness to recognize I've been a very dominant in length and long form in my answers. So I think a large part of that has been categorized. So out of respect to you and also the audience that have probably grasped what I've said, I'll give you just short bullet answer to that. Find your true integrity point. Go and place yourself exactly on it. It's like finding your spot on the planet. Go stand in it. Recognize your skill sets. Develop self-awareness of where you're weak and strong. And know thyself is part of the journey. And this is, my life has been a career of dismissed out of jobs, failed work experiences, in corporate environments, not fitting. Find that place where you fit. But bring your passion and your energy that sees time dissipate and all track thereof being lost. That is a clear sign that you are where you should be. Be that person that finds where you should be. Make integrity, that was point number 1. So fit, placement, integrity, alignment. Point number 2 is engage with as many people and seek to have a positive influence on as many people as possible. Share your wisdoms freely in wherever your competence exists, and grow, and be open and ready to be taught upwards from those you teach. Seek to teach that which you learn, seek to learn that which you teach. And that is your growth. And if you can position there, you're on the way to a magnificent life where you will go on rants like I've just gone with real passion, for which the energy just bubbles up inside of you and is totally pure and authentic. And let me tell you, real people who are interested in truth and authentic people can smell authenticity, and they can smell deception and fakery. Stand on the right spot. Don't pretend.
Yeah, and I think that's a very crucial ability to have, with this recognizing the authenticity in this world today. I feel like that, and I guess I might still add to the trading part that I guess you should find a good teacher and a good system to follow. So that would be the trading part of, I guess, the steps.
That was the general life. Yeah, I didn't address the trading. I think I said a lot on the trading element. Recognize it's a far more complex game than you think. And I include investing in that, as I've completed the investing is a slow motion version of trading, a passive, a tortoise compared to the hare. They have commonalities in every way. They're just less critical if you're not losing leverage. Many people consider investment as unleveraged trading, basically. You consider them less critical if you're just average costing buying in every month. Not a bad strategy, but it's not specific. You should still apply the principles that I've espoused on trading. And we aren't day traders. I'm not jumping in 5 minutes. I'm not worrying what Bitcoin's doing right now. I have a P&L full of greens, not because I'm awesome and I'm brilliant, because those trades were planned long time ago. They were entered long time ago, and their course is still playing out. And the ones that were red, of which there were plenty, have been culled quickly. So I'm not stressing. We will talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'll check it when I check it. And anything that's gone untowardly will be closed automatically, because that's how it's been set. So you have to have a methodology. You have to have the psychology, which will be driven by your biology. Are you healthy? It does get into other aspects of your life. Be the highest form of yourself. Everything I say will come back to a self-development course. Be the highest form of yourself. So, how did you eat? Are you, how's your vitamin levels? And especially in this low activity COVID time, are you getting your exercise, etc.? So all of those things matter. So psychology overlaps with biology. Don't think of things in silos. There is interrelationships in every way. Method is absolutely empirical, and a method that gives you freedom, whereby you template in advance what you suspect it might do. You impose that and you leave it, and the market will either endorse that view or it will undermine it. And in the case of undermining, it's part of the game. It's a probability-based game. So in any point where there's leverage involved, you've got to be able to have levels where you accept you're wrong and you get out. Otherwise, you'll be decimated. And even in investment, because I'm assuming that you're going to invest, even if you're not got leverage, but it's $100,000, let's say, it's a precious $100,000. You don't want to see it lose 40% a day after, or in a month, couple of months after you put it in. That doesn't feel good. In other words, your selected entry point was poor. Where was the methodology for determining it? Was it just, hey, the 100 grand landed in my bank account, so it was burning a hole in my pocket and I did it? Well, maybe you need to think a little more, because if you'd bought after the 40%, you would have had nearly 50% more of that token, and you'll start making profit a whole bunch earlier. So, it still makes sense in every sense of the word. If you want to engage the cryptos, you want to be lazy, check that market tops, see which Telegram group is pumping what, hope that somebody else knows more than you and you're following the right guy, and chase in without really understanding what you do. In the end, it ends in pain. You get to distribute your Bitcoin to those institutions that are playing the long game, are patient, do have risk management, will have a method. They don't have a method, anything like our self-derived method, but they will have a method, and they'll have deep pockets, and they'll accumulate. And it'll probably be a hodl. They'll probably have some insider news every now and then, and they will beat you and they will take your tokens. So there is a degree of zero-sum game, even though the market is expanding in an organic way as well. So you've got to be, truly, I can't make a bigger case for it than I've already made.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was a good point that here in the end that even if you are an investor, it's good to know the technical analysis side of it as well, because you are picking your entry, and that is, like you said, it's very important. So where can people find you, Francis, like channels and courses? And
yeah, well, thank you first of all for having me on. I appreciate you. You reached out, and you know, I'm not for everybody's taste, I know, but we really are passionate about what we do. Our website is 3Ws themarketsniper.com. People can book a call. So anyone who's contemplating a product, we have self-study, you know, at a lower price point for people that may not have means, and they can watch and get the theory. You'll still get a Sunday session with one of our Top Gun HVF traders analyzing the market, which cryptos is a large part of. And you will also get a non-farm payrolls. This Friday, we'll be having this event this Friday, where I do cryptos and traditional markets. So it's 3 hours with me. You'll get that every month as well. So you will get some interaction. So it's not just purely locked up in a room with the videos, but you'll be able to learn and get the theories. We have the full community where you're interacting in a WhatsApp-like function, but not WhatsApp, where it's secure. And we talk about trades, and I'm doing jump shares and updates regularly. So videos, updates, voicemail updates, setups are being discussed, trades are being created. We have a learning environment where we do the setup, which are real trades that we want to take. But at the same time, you also get feedback on what you're putting, and it gets marked as a good possible opportunity, or others are better. So the whole learning and developing is all practical. So you have the learning, the videos that are theoretical, and you implement everything you do. You can watch videos and learn nothing. That's the truth. If you aren't implementing, the implementing is the real learning. So I'm no fool. I used to just have a course where I gave theory on a weekend and then checked in with people, how you're doing 2 weeks later. People fizzled out, even though they loved the weekend, they loved the energy, they learned a lot. The point is you need to implement it. So it's a full year, our community. You're interacting, getting all of this. You'll see bulls and bears, failed trades and winning trades. You know, it's a warts and all experience. So you book a call from themarketsniper.com if you'd like to engage in one of those products, and you'll speak to no salespeople. Everybody who works in our business is a HVF trader and came as a client themselves. There's no professional salesmanship here. If I haven't made my point and I don't seem like your guy, when in doubt, leave it out. Absolutely. So that people will give you the details. They will show you the platform so that you know it's real. There's a full 14-day money back, by the way. So if it's not for you, fine. No questions asked. You know, auntie died. Sorry, I'm not going to concentrate. Fine, money back. So we take no prisoners. We only want a community of the willing. In terms of, there's a free trading course that's in our the CryptoSniper YouTube channel, free trading course link. You're not ready to spend? Go click on the link and get a mini series. Have a little look more at what we do. Decide, take your time. You know, you must make rational. We fans of rationality. We don't, you know, we're not timeshare salesmen here. We want people that want to be there, not people that just get a notion and then shake out of it. Be sure. Watch the mini series. It's absolutely on us. So that's in the links. It's also available from the same website as well. And follow the CryptoSniper on Twitter if you're specifically interested in crypto, but expect that interest to expand a little bit as you grow and learn. So you'll understand what's going on in the big markets, because the one environment's failure is the other's development, because the money has to run from the old. The old horse is tired and is flailing. The rider is climbing off the old horse onto the fresh horse. And the fresh horse is called crypto. And you're at that transition. And it's such a super opportunity. And we'd love to hold your hands and walk with you as friends. I'm friends with many people in our community. Many of them I met during the days that we did physical events. A couple are coming and living near where our island is, because we have as a separate element, structures that see you keep what our guys are making. Our new problem is that we're making new millionaires and they need to keep it, and government is overreaching. So a secondary element and service to our community is, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So you're going to keep having to do that. First, have the problem that you've got something to protect, but you also need to start before it's too big to have structures that protect those resources in this totalitarian government overreach times. No matter where you are, whether you're in Europe, US, there is things you can do that can make sure if they pump capital gains tax up, if they synchronize taxation globally, all these things are coming. What entities do you have? What principles? I would be shocked, and we've taken 7 years about getting our own right. It was experiences. I've traveled South America multiple times. I've got high flyer mileage, North America. I've spoken to people in Singapore, Hong Kong. The experience my partner and I have had to learn in that aspect alone, in terms of keeping what you make, is huge. And we do separate. Some people might say, I'm not interested in your course, your calls, or trading or investing at all. I already have some money, I just want to defend it. Fine. Support at themarketsniper.com. Protect my money in the headline. You can book a call. It's $500. The people that were acting in the space charged us $7,000 for a report that had somebody else's name in it. In some places that failed to edit it. So I can, trust me, the experience you'll get from that is huge. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. How to protect, and there's an action plan that you can then take forward, and for less than the cost of that other person's program course report, you can actually have a full structure that will give you some defense. And remember, things can change. It's going to be a dynamic environment. It'll give you some defense. Why will it give you some defense? Because the people that own the system have similar structures. So they can't undermine it for themselves without undermining it. They can't undermine it for you without undermining it for some of themselves. And that information is very, very useful and very powerful. Action to take to protect the gains you might well make if you execute correctly. So that's also very important. So as I say, thank you very much for having me on. Website, themarketsniper.com. You can book calls for the main community. You can also send an email to support@themarketsniper if you're just interested in the protection of existing wealth. And you can follow us on the YouTube. You can grab the mini series, the free trading course link in the YouTube details. And however we end up helping you, whether you ever elect to engage with us in a financial way or not, we are delighted to have you, and we want to see you grow and succeed. You are my tribe if you're watching this, and if what I said resonates, and I want to take you forward. And when they stick me in the ground, I want a little ping from everybody in my mind as it fizzles out for the final time that there were people that I touched and took forward in this abnormal times that we are living in.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for making us aware of all of these aspects which are connected to trading and crypto trading, and, you know, the macro view and the self-development and the psychology and everything. It's, I think it's very important. And so, yeah, very grateful about these lessons and this awareness. And yeah, you viewers, I'll see you in the other interviews again, and I hope you will get the all access pass as well, so you can see what's coming next with Francis when we move on to the second part of the interview. So thank you for watching now, and see you again.